What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So I didn't do an update yesterday, but I know a lot of people were probably excited that we did see a bounce. Yes, that probably could have continued higher towards maybe the 235, retest the range lows, but uh, today just goes to show you how bearish this trend still is. We are running parallel to the EMA, so it's riding along that EMA. So that's a very strong trend to the downside. Measurement target was not met. It's at 145, 150. So we're still dropping like a rock, and this is not something you want to be stepping in front of. So I'm expecting to get 150. I mean, we're almost there, right? Another bad day like today will get you towards 150. You know, like another drop down lower. You can get there even end of the week. We'll see with how even bearish Bitcoin looks as well too. So MSTR is basically toast, right? I don't think we're going to be seeing an all-time high anytime soon. Maybe next cycle. 65% drop thus far. Measurement target 72%, 73%. Stocks don't recover a 73% drop that quickly, right? It'll take a while. So we can be more certain that this is looking like a top. And if it is, well, then you can just do a simple percentage retracement. And last drop from last cycle from high to low is 90%. And let's just be conservative and say 80%. That takes you to about $100, right? Round it off, 105, $100, whatever. If you drop it 90%, that takes you to about $46, 50 bucks. So that's why I put this box here. This box represents the target for the low of this bear market, about between $100 or this is about 120, but we'll leave it at 120. So between 120 and $50 is the target for the low, and we can be more precise as we get closer towards the targets. But this is just kind of like a longer term target for this drop, and I'm pretty surprised how much this is dropping. Right, I'm expecting a pullback, but look how just strong this trend is. I mean, yeah, we see a pullback here on November 7th. We see a pullback yesterday. But I mean, it's just crashing, right? Like, what's the point of buying right now when you can get low prices? You tell me. Some people just love to waste their money. But me personally, I worked hard for my money. I want to buy a stock at the best price possible. Why would I buy right now when I can get it, when I know, well, with high certainty, I can get it at lower prices? That's my opinion, right? That's why I read a chart. You don't need to read a chart if you're just going to buy whenever you want and hold for 10 years, right? But if you want to know when to get in at a certain price, then you want to know how to read a price chart. Even Amazon started doing price analysis. You can go on the Amazon website or app, and they even have that Rufus AI. It tells you the past 30-day and 90-day historical price for that product you want to purchase, and you can see when it was cheaper to buy it and when it's not as ideal to purchase, and you can wait and you can see the trend when it's gonna. If it just spiked up all of a sudden, most likely it's gonna come back down to its average. Same thing right here. This thing, spiked up and now it's coming right back down to where it started. Right. That's typically what happens in bubbles. Right. This was a huge bubble. The bubble popped, and a lot of traders still are in profit. Right. It may not be you, but people are still still in profit when they bought their shares sub $100, sub 150. So the market is coming back for that liquidity. And those traders who are at lower prices, they want to protect what they have. They sell, and then that adds fuel to the fire because then you have short sellers coming in. I'm not saying go short right here. I'm not telling you to do anything. Or even sell, right? I'm telling you that I don't think this looks bullish, and I think it's going to go lower. And it might take a while, right? I'm not saying it's going to take a few weeks to a few months. As of right now, it looks like we can get there by the end of the year, right? $100. But I don't want to say that target price, all right? I don't like to give timelines. Timeline is very hard to predict, but I like to predict price, which is pretty accurate until it's invalidated. If we just start rocketing up right now, I will change my mind. But until then, I am not going to change my mind, and it's going to be bearish. I'm bearish until proven otherwise, and I've been bearish right back over here. I haven't deleted a single video from my channel. Go watch my videos since August into September, and in like early August, mid August, I was bearish right about here, like the 370s is when I quit, right? When I quit holding the stock. And then since then, we dropped down very substantially, right? So I don't think this is going to recover. I don't think it's going to make a new high. Don't I'm not saying we're going to see a bounce. We're going to see a lot of bounces. We're going to see a lot of pullbacks. But until we like see a huge move up higher, I would say even to the 300s, it would take for me to change my mind because all this is still bearish territory right here. We're still below the prior support. It can always act as resistance and then sell off. We're still below the trend line. Even if you go to the 270s, that can act as resistance and go down. So there's a lot of things the bears can use to drop down the price. So the bulls, I think, are just tapping out right now, and I don't see this recovering. Right, I'm open to invalidation, but I don't see it recovering. And yeah, I'm gonna wait for $50, or at least sub 100. Right, I might go in light at 100, and then go heavy depending on the trend and the time we're kind of in of the cycle. Maybe $100 might be pretty good. But $50 would be really nice, right? I believe the stock fundamentally has not changed. It's even probably stronger than it has been before because it has, way more Bitcoin than it has before. It's not super leveraged. Michael Saylor's a genius, right? There's a lot of good fundamental things about the company. It's probably not gonna go anywhere. I'm just saying the fundamentals and technicals don't align all the time, right? You get this difference, and that's what provides value. And that's what you want. You don't want fundamentals and value to be aligned all the time because then this will just continue to creep up higher and higher like this. And you'll just continue to have to pay higher prices while you can get it at a much lower price while the fundamentals really hasn't changed. What changed about the company in the past 4 or 5 years, right? Except they have more Bitcoin. They have these preferreds that are pretty good, really good, right? It's a very smart product they have. It's a great way to get more Bitcoin, right? That's their goal. So fundamentally, I'm really bullish. Long term, I'm really bullish, but I like to buy things at the best price I can, and I'm gonna wait for lower prices, at least $100, and I think high probability as right now $50 because Bitcoin hasn't even really started a drop yet. Wait till it gets a 60-70% decline. What do you think MSTR is gonna do at that point? It's going to be toast. So $50 seems very reasonable. And people keep on saying this MNAV nonsense. Like that just goes to show you are not aligned with the reality. When you're not aligned with the reality, your illusions crash with reality, and you are going to suffer. That's just how it works, right? And when you believe something and it doesn't work out, you're going to be panicking. Just like people believe in job security, there's no such thing as job security because the only security you can have is in yourself. So you can't have job security. That's a myth. So a lot of people who believe, oh, my job is secure. Well, we'll see about that, in the future. So no job is secure, right? Same thing with this. Nothing is fundamentally a fact. We can always drop below 1 MNAV and stay below it for a very long time. We can go to 2, right? 0.2. And it makes sense because they're charging a premium, and now it's more risky to own this than Bitcoin. So why would you own MSTR than Bitcoin? Especially when Bitcoin is going down. See how that works? Why would I pay a premium for a company that's losing money from holding the Bitcoin? Then I just rather hold the underlying asset. So that premium is kind of like a double-edged sword, where it can go down and be in below 1 MNAV. So they're gonna continue to compress this. Now again, I could be all wrong, but as right now I haven't been, and I'm gonna continue to stay bearish until proven otherwise. So MSTR pretty much toast, and just looking for lower prices. Could take a while. We can have some pullbacks in between, but not looking good. Bitcoin is not looking good either, right? I'm expecting a bounce very soon, right? It should be in the next couple of days, end of this month at the latest, early December at the latest. I'm not expecting this to carry on that much longer. This is definitely a downtrend, pretty sharp, like last time, 31%. Now we are at 30%, 31% as well. So, this thing should not be dropping more than prior corrections, especially this late in a trend. So not looking good as right now, but not the end of the world like MSTR. Still expecting a recovery. It can, as quickly as it went down, is as quickly as it can go up. So it took about 45 days from the high to current price to come to this level. Another 45 days up can take it toward the end of the year. So by the end of the year, if it recovers, if it bounces right now, we could see a new all-time high by the end of the year. And that's if it wants to recover. But if it continues to drop down lower really sharply, entering the $78,000 level, I mean, that might be a little too low, right? So Bitcoin, MSTR, I think it's toast. I don't think we're going to see a new all-time high this year or even next year. But, again, everything is probability, right? I'm just looking at the chart. You don't stop watching the weather just because sometimes they get it wrong, do you? No. So same thing with chart analysis. It doesn't work. We don't know what's going to happen, and it's not designed to tell us exactly what's going to happen. But I want to be on the side of the trend, and the trend is still bearish. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin trend is still bullish, but this correction is looking, as the days goes on and the lower and lower goes, it stops looking like a correction and starts looking like a reversal. So there's two different words, right? A correction and a reversal are not the same thing. They're not used interchangeably, right? So this is still looking like a correction relative to the uptrend. When it starts looking like a reversal relative to the uptrend, then we can start entertaining this being a top, drop down 70%, and you can just say that's probably when the low would be, right around $35,000-$40,000 for one Bitcoin. As right now, it's not there, but as time goes on and as lower this gets, it's looking more and more like it. Gold is continuing to outperform Bitcoin, but it's in my circle. This is the zone I'm expecting to finally reverse. But yeah, see how well this this might just continue to rocket up higher. Who knows, right? But I'm expecting a drop down soon because it's just going up really quickly. Anything goes up really quickly can't last that long. So we'll see if this flips. That kind of correlates with Bitcoin maybe having a final dump, this having a final pump, and then both reversing. Bitcoin starting to outperform gold by a substantial amount. And then Bitcoin is still outperforming MSTR even on a down day, even down 5%. It's still outperforming MSTR. So you see how well this chart is, working, right? It's still in an uptrend, and it looks like it's about to blast off, right? It looks like this is ready for a exponential move up, like this chart. So targeting towards 640. And yeah, it's just ready to climb up. It looks pretty strong. This one looks like it's ready to dump, but it's not guaranteed. This one's looking like it's ready to pump, but it's not guaranteed. This one looks like it's ready just for a final dump, possibly in a reversal. This one looks like it's toast, and it's probably going to hit 146 not too long in the future, and probably back towards $50. Again, we'll see what happens. I'm open to invalidation. But even if I'm wrong, let's say we start pumping up right now. Let's say even with the lowest slim chance we get up to the prior high this year or even next year. Well, what does that mean, right? Well, that's still going to be resistance, right? We're not going to just break this level and start climbing up like that. Usually that doesn't happen. A lot of stocks have double tops. So even if we do come up to the prior high, we're still going to crash back down most likely. So I'm not going to miss out, right? I'm not going to miss out on the share price buying right now, right? And it pumps up higher, right? And that's a really bad place to buy, me personally. You're just guessing, right? You're guessing that this is going to be the low, just like people guessed yesterday that was the low. Are you going to guess again this is the low and then we dump more? No, you have to look at technical targets. The next one is at 150. And if we don't bounce here, this could be a prior support, 180. If it's not, we're going to hit 150. If we don't hit 150, you look for the next one, probably 100. So that's how I'm looking at these stocks, right? That's how I'm looking at these charts. So all I have today. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.